Welcome to another episode of the Biker PM. I'm your host, Anthony Pavelich. Today we have part 2 with Jaggy Gagnat. So if you haven't listened to the first part and learned about his motorcycles, press stop, go back and download part 1. Let's get started. You know, so many people think that you complicate your life by having multiple tools, but the problem is everybody wants that one perfect tool that does everything, and there isn't. There is not a tool that does everything. And so when my clients are like, what's the best tool? Well, I need this, I want this, I want this. Well, you know, most of the time you're not going to get everything that you want in a tool. You know, so you're going to have to compromise. You're going to have to use several, but the best way to make, as long as it works for you and you can integrate them, or you can, you know, everybody knows where to get the information. That's what's important.
If you were to ask me the most perfect tool for me, which unfortunately I can't find yet, is basically an entire business management tool where everything is in one tool, everything is in one application. I can see the progress of the projects, I can see the finance, I can track everything. So when I couldn't find that perfect app for me, well, I resorted to Google Sheets, because then I can, code my own. I can integrate data and whatnot, create formulas for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs spend too much time trying to find that perfect tool, and then get overwhelmed because they can't find it. And that's why it's like you're only going to find a tool that's going to probably do like 70 to 80% of what you need. And then you're going to have to compromise and do others outside of it, because there's no way.
You know, as a former photographer, one of the philosophies that is still with me is the best camera is the one that you have right now. So I think that also applies. You know, the best tool is what you have right now. So it's not about camera, or it's not about the tool, but it's more about who uses the tool and how it is used.
I love that. It's true, because as long as the tool works for you and it's scalable to where you can keep using it, then, and a lot of people, same thing. Let's look at it. I like that analogy with the camera, because some people want the most expensive camera, but the most expensive camera, the most expensive tool is not going to be what's best. And it's not going to, you might be able to find a really inexpensive, cheap tool or camera, and it's beautiful and does what you need.
Correct. I agree. So it's more about the user.
Yeah. So now you're starting to work on your own brand. So what do you see happening with this brand? Do you have a name for your motorcycle brand yet?
Yes. The name is Lycan. It's like Lycan motorcycle. Lycan, like the wolf.
Yes. I caught it right away. I mean, especially if anybody ever watches Underworld, the movies. Those are one of my favorite series, the Lycans, and
Same. Just yesterday, we have publicly announced the opening of our motorcycle company. So it was just yesterday that we first introduced the Lycan brand to the market. And surprisingly enough, earlier today, we've already had, almost 100 subscribers.
Oh, nice.
I think I can say almost 100 people who are in our wait list. What in terms of marketing, what we did is we first published just a 3D design of the motorcycle that we are working on, and then we introduced, our first prototype. On Sunday, September 5th, is we will be doing an online event where we are officially presenting our first prototype. So it's a bobber type motorcycle with the functionalities of a modern motorcycle. We are hoping to begin mass production by 2022. So right now we are still in research and development, as we are building 4 prototypes for the market. What makes our company, I think, unique, our unique selling proposition is that we are giving our potential customers, our future riders and customers, the ability to design their motorcycle from scratch using proprietary software that we are launching by 2022. So they can design their own bike, and then once we receive the design, we will have it assembled and manufactured in our facility, and until we release them to the customer. So basically that's our business model, and I think, and I firmly believe that by 2022 is we can make a lot of noise here in the Philippines, especially with how we are changing the way people design and acquire a motorcycle, integrating a lot of modern technologies right now and modern processes. We are diverting away from the traditional dealership model. So we're finding ways to do direct selling to the market so that when they design their motorcycle up on our website, and then once our project managers receive the design and our production team starts assembling them, give or take, hopefully by within 2 weeks the motorcycle would be done. The motorcycle would be sent or shipped straight to the customer. So we are cutting a lot of supply chain processes that makes it difficult for customers to acquire our motorcycles. And by 2022, we will be announcing or at least releasing and starting our mass production. And by 2023 and 2024, we are hoping that we are able to, acquire a good enough share of the market here in the Philippines.
It's amazing that you've been able to do all this in today's world and take what you're passionate about and actually turn it into a business. The puppies behind you are what kind of dogs do you have?
We have a husky and chow chows.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We have three. I have a
Oh, that's nice.
a boxer, a American Staffordshire, and then a 4.5 pound long hair Chihuahua.
Oh, wow.
So 94, 90 pound, 50 pound, and 4 pound. And the 4 pound rules the roost. I used to have a Chow mix when I was really young. One of the Chow and Akita mix. It was like a beautiful dog. Nice. Yeah.
Actually, right now we have 10 dogs right now. So 3 adult dogs and 7 puppies.
Aw. Yeah, I don't know. Mine just started barking. They upstairs, if they see a squirrel on the wire, it's like somebody's like strangling them and they have to get out to it. So back to the motorcycles and back to the business. You've got a really ambitious plan, which is great. So what keeps you motivated to make sure that you achieve this?
Well, what keeps me motivated is basically, I have to see it in person. I have to see it come alive. I have to see the facility. I have to see the factory, and that's what keeps me motivated. And another thing that I love is, of course, the entrepreneurial journey, the business journey. I basically eat failures for breakfast. So,
I like that.
it's the reason. One of the reasons why I think I can say that I'm too ambitious is because it's really fascinating to see people appreciating my work of art. Okay, I can consider my all of my company's works of art, and if it affects people in a good way, if it influences their behavior in a positive way, and if it changes their lives somehow, for me that is one of the most fulfilling things that I can do. And I believe that this is my purpose in the universe, is to affect and inspire as many people as I can.
Do you feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, and overworked? There's so much you need to do, but you don't know what the best way to do it is? And you're not sure where all your time goes each week? Jump on over to my website, pavproconsulting.com. You can download my free PDF, The 5 Proven Strategies to Steal Back Lost Time and Money in Your Business. And while you're there, you can book a free process discovery session, pavproconsulting.com. Move forward with confidence, focus, and productivity. That's great, because I know you what I find is you have so many plans and you have so many things going on, and entrepreneurs sometimes can get overwhelmed with having all these ideas. How do you keep yourself from overwhelming yourself with trying to do too much at once? Because as an entrepreneur, I mean, you have all these great ideas. I know I do sometimes, and it's like you want to do everything right now, but you can't. So how do you keep yourself from falling into that trap?
Okay, well, I've learned from my mistakes in the past, because when I got the entrepreneur fever, wherein you have to start a lot of business, you have to start a lot of startups and whatnot. I've learned from my mistake that because I divided my attention to a lot of ideas, to a lot of companies, to a lot of businesses, I got nothing done. I failed miserably. So in order for me to keep me from falling into that trap, I create a plan and I just focus on one thing. So right now I'm just focusing on this company, and then I take it I take a lot off my plate by onboarding the right people, onboarding the right people on the team, and then delegating those tasks to them. Giving them the trust. I know, and I can relate for a lot of businessmen and women out there that there are times when we have to do everything by ourselves. But what I have learned is that it's the reason why companies, big companies grow is because they have the right people on board, they have the right people on the bus ready to go. What I've learned as well is that it doesn't matter where your company is going. It doesn't matter whether you have taken the first step, but if you have the right people on board, if you have the right team that you trust, and despite regardless of their skills and capabilities, as a team together, you'll find a way how to get there. And by understanding that logic, then I can get to separate myself from the stresses of the matters that doesn't that hinders me from excelling at where I'm good at. And I can see where I'm good at, as fellow entrepreneurs, is in strategic thinking and marketing, and making our company, our baby, look good to the market, and bringing in customers, right, whether they are short-term customers or for the long term. So in order for me to get out of that trap, or to avoid myself from entering the trap, is I delegate some of the tasks. So instead of micromanaging, I train my people, I train my staff, in order for them to understand how my brain works, how my strategies can work, and then once they get the hang of it, then I lead them to it.
So we're getting close to time, so I want to find out. I have a couple more quick questions. Is there a resource, or is there something that inspired you to be an entrepreneur? Something, was there a book, another entrepreneur that you admired? Was there something that came along and you were like, I can do this too, I can be an entrepreneur? Or is it something you've always had the entrepreneurial spirit?
Quite honestly, I didn't have it at start, but one of the things that made me start into the entrepreneurial life was what my father told me before, that it's better to be the boss than to be an employee. So that basically stuck with me, and I did what he said, because my parents are both business people. Though I didn't inherently acquire the business mindset at the very start, but when he told me that it's better to be the boss, it's better to be the leader than an employer, working so hard to make somebody else rich, it stuck to me, and eventually it led me to that path without me knowing it.
Good. Yeah, a lot of people I've talked to recently, their parents have played a big role in teaching them the lessons to be an entrepreneur, that they can do what they want to do, and be the boss, take the risk, and go for it. So if people want to find out more about you, find out more about your motorcycles, what's the best place for everybody to go? We'll put links in the show notes so people can find you.
Well, if they want to learn more about our motorcycle company, they can visit Lycan, and that's lycan.com.ph.
And if people want to connect with you, where can they find you at?
They can find me on LinkedIn and on Facebook. On LinkedIn, my name is John Gagnat, so I use my name John.
Okay.
But on Facebook, I use my name Jaggy Gagnat. That's Jaggy space Gangat.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much, Jaggy. I appreciate it. I'm excited. I have your website up right now, and it's,
wow.
Looking at just that front page, it's some beautiful pictures that are on the website now. So definitely I'll put the link in, and good luck. I'll definitely keep watching to see how it goes.
Okay, sure. Thanks for the time, Anthony, and it's an honor to be on your podcast, right?
It's an honor to have you. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Biker PM. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And remember, if you're an entrepreneur that wants to be with like-minded individuals and improving their project management skills, join the Biker PM Facebook group and watch out for some exciting news coming soon. Until next time.